And recording. So, on my Watch Later playlist on YouTube, because I'm trying to vary up what it is I'm reacting to, I did two recommendations. I did a random one from a gym playlist. And now, my Watch Later, which is based off things that just happened to pop up on my homepage on YouTube. And I'll just say, oh, yeah, that looks interesting. I'll get to it eventually, maybe. I'm getting to it now. There is a band called Suneater, and the song is called Moira. I might have it mixed up, but count here says Suneater, so I'm assuming the band is called Suneater. Moira makes me think of like a X-Men, Moira McTaggart, like an Irish kind of name. But who's to say where they're from? Go. About the halfway point. I hate to pause it in the middle of a section, but I've been wanting to pause it just because a couple of weeks ago I reacted to Flesh God Apocalypse. I forget the name of the song because it's been a couple of weeks. Also, I'm drinking, but one of the big motifs in that song, in that video, was the fates, the three fates, and how there's a loom, you're creating the thread, the other one prolongs it, and the other one cuts it. So I'm assuming this is kind of what it's going to be. Because they really focused on the one woman who seemed blind, who was just creating the thread. This one here in the red dress is sort of just pulling it along. And I'm assuming there's going to be a third one, because generally when you do this motif, it's always the women's three. Double, boil in trouble, toil in trouble. Like it's a, yeah, it's constant motif in like literature and like art. So I'm assuming that's going to happen now. It's interesting that they're using that. Nona decima morta. Morta makes me think death. So nona, you think of like grandma, which, but decima. Is that Italian? Because nona could mean like niña, like child. So like from child, life, death, whatever. So like the yeah. But in any case, it's very disparate. This imagery of the spool there with the thread, and then just like, oh, here's the band and they're playing the music. So like it's the narrative of the video was kind of lacking in that aspect, but it's not done. And also, it is like great. Like it sounds awesome. The music does. So you can kind of say like the narrative of the video, the messaging isn't quite as important as the impact of the music, and that's kind of what I'm more interested in anyway. But let's go back just a little bit. I'll probably look up the lyrics after this because I can't understand a damn word he's saying. There's number 3. So I wasn't paying too much attention to the backdrop, but it looked like the third fate there had a red backdrop, and the one who was pulling the thread had a green backdrop, which is like life. Let's see. Yeah, she had green behind her. So what was the color behind the spool? Also green. I guess life still. So life, life, death. That's interesting. Let's see if the lyrics are here. The cast. Moira spelled differently than in the video. So it was the same woman doing all 3. Okay. Donna decima morta. Donna decima morta. Face the spinner, the allottor. That's funny. The unturnable, but it's a wheel. All right. The unturnable one, when the last grain is gone, they form a horrible choir while they sing unison. Bleed from ears, music of sirens. So I mentioned the sirens a lot because I like that motif of just beautiful women singing and you being transfixed by them and going to your death because you're so in love with the voices. So it's a thing where you can't control your demise just because like you're drawn to it. So I like the concept of sirens intellectually, and then that generally is the fall of people is that you don't necessarily fall because of your own choices. It's just that you're trying to appeal to something else or something else appeals to you. And so like waves, rocks crash. Ineffable, their nature, the daughters of the fate. But they are the fates. They are guiding my way to the goddess of the night, that's death. Sisters of law, justice, and peace. That's an interesting way to look at it. Yet deciding my course, rulers of time. Snip. Cosmic forces, thread of life. Spin my thread of life. And thus it was written, excuse me, no escape as the planets align. When you use that metaphor of the planets aligning, that happens so very rarely. So like once every however many years. It's like if you win the lottery. It's like one in like however many 100 million chances. So it just so happens if when the planets align, that's such a point that can never be replicated in your lifetime. That it's just like, oh, either that can be like extreme happiness, that could be the life, that could be you, or that could represent your death. You never know when it's going to happen. It just like things have to align in a certain way for like a particular thing to happen. In their sight, I am nothing, facing all devouring darkness. Yeah, because if they're the fates, they're cutting everyone's life. So you are just one of many. You are one of the lottery. So like it's not. They're just deciding who to cut, when to cut, not because they have any specific plan, but just because like, oh, what's the next one? Okay, snip. Oh, who's this? I don't care. Snip. What's this other one? Oh, so, like a lot of people try to put value and meaning behind what life is, but no, it's just like you're in like a line. So like the people who do decide your fate, they don't give a shit about you. They're just like, oh, what's next on my list? Okay, cool. Snip. Okay, what's next on my list? Snip. It doesn't matter how long or how short that thread is. It's just like, oh, it's next. Snip. It's next. Snip. So prophesized and set in stone, determined, irresistible. The past, the present, the future. The maiden, the mother, the crown. Nona decima morta. Nona decima morta. I am facing the second, the drawer of lots. Men bitter, trembling in fear of the gods, as she strides through the rows with a serious eye. Measure my thread of life, measure my thread of life. See, again, there, it seems like he's like putting so much of a focus of like, oh, I'm going to love you so that you can pay attention to me and give me extra time. So it's not even that that's the only rationale. It's not that I care about this person or this entity or this anthropomorphized being. It's just like all about you. I care about you drawing the lots. I care about you making sure that I live longer. I only care about my own life, and I'm using you to try to prolong my life. So It's not a love. It's not a worship. It's not any of that stuff. Ultimately, it's all just selfishness. Eh. And thus, it was written, no escape as the planets align. When your time is done, when that time finally hits, nothing you can do. In their sight, I am nothing, facing out divine, prophesied and set in stone, determined, irresistible. The past, the present, the future. Nona decima morta. Nona decima morta. Death. She sharpens her blades. I hear them scratching on old ruined stairs. She'll decide how everything ends. Death, inescapable. This is how everything ends. Well, yeah. Yeah, everything ends in death. Everything ends in ruin. Then, like the phoenix, life goes on, rebirth. But not for you. It's generational. In their sights, I am nothing. Their statues reside in temples. Like you worship them. Again, because you're trying to prolong your life, so that's why you're worshiping. In their sights, I am nothing. Among the altars of Olympia, in their sights, I am nothing. Olympia, you think of Greek mythology, and the fates, I think, are mostly like from a Greek mythology kind of thing, but like, fuck, what was his name? Kronos? Yeah. So one of the before Zeus and them, you have Kronos, who's like the master of time. So you think of, you get rid of him and put yourself up, but you can't ever get rid of the inevitability of death because everything dies, even if you're a god. It's just like gods just live longer, allegedly. So, but eventually, like everything decays, everything goes away. I'm rhyming a lot lately, like a rhyming demon, perhaps. Tee hee. They're the past, the present, the future. Put the blade to my thread of life. So that goes back to the metaphor I was using about the phoenix. Past, present, the future. So if you die, or if you're born, you live, you die. Then you're reborn, you live, you die. You're reborn, you live, you die. That's just generations over and over and over. So you might just die and go away because your thread is cut, but life continues and life is a cycle. So when the third fate, morta, or death, decides it's time for you to go, that's not the end of life. That's just you. But you live on through your memories, people's memories of you. I don't mean to get quite so philosophical about that, because I feel like it might just be because in these last couple of weeks I've encountered this theme a couple of times. Again, Flesh God Apocalypse art, mwah, that one was great. I liked this one a lot too, but I feel like it didn't necessarily, visually, the narrative didn't necessarily hit as much. But again, the words, it's pretty common, this theme. Again, the three. Everything comes in threes. The Trinity. So when confronted with this thematic motif. Kind of have to revisit it every time and kind of like view it in a different way and kind of like explore it. And so much of life and so much of art is people being afraid to die, is being fearful of death and doing everything they can to steer away from it. While at the same time, we have war, which is apropos for the moment, where you're just delivering death. So you don't even, you want to take it out of the hands of an outside source. You don't want to leave it in the hands of someone with scissors. Sometimes you want to be the decider because you want to feel the godliness. You want to like uplift yourself into feeling like you're in charge, because if this country does this to that country, then you can sort of say like I can decide my own fate because I decided their fate. But no, that's not how it works. Behind the scenes, it's still the woman cutting the threads every time because it's an anthropomorphized kind of thing. And so, like, regardless of who does it, she's the one who's there. And so you're not doing anything other than just being an asshole. Hmm. Yeah, but, when people confront this motif, they do so out of fear. They're afraid of dying. When someone kills another person, they don't do it out of power, they do it out of fear. They're little bitches. I don't think that's controversial to say someone who murders someone else is a little piece of shit. They're a little bitch. Yeah. If you take a life, fuck you. With these three women, there's one who does nothing but take lives. In her case, it's not a fuck you. It's just like, no, this is her role. This is what she has to do. Because again, it's like not an actual thing. It's anthropomorphized. Look up a dictionary. Yeah, it's her role. So it's not that she's doing something out of spite, out of pride, out of vanity, out of fear. No, it's just, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I have to do. Because things don't live forever. Yeah. So many people are afraid. Just live your life. And enjoy it. Because if you are afraid, then you can't focus on the good things because you're always so worried about what will eventually happen. Life is the present. You're the middle one of the three. The birth, that's good. But that's more happiness for your parents. The middle is where you live because you have to experience the present in order to live. And when you're fearful of the future, then you're no longer in the present and you're already dead. I think. Like the song. Made me think. Probably come back to them.